Welcome back, learners. So, as you know, in the previous lecture, we were discussing about how to study the given plan, and as a first problem or as a first design, I have taken one two-story residential building with the building residential building is present at the back side, and a small two commercial complexes or the shops which are present at the front side. And I have clearly explained you how first you have to read the plan and understand it. Okay, first you are supposed to read the plan and you are supposed to understand it. So that I have explained in the previous lecture. And actually we have started the center line markings of the columns. Okay, center line markings of the columns. So now let us continue the center line markings. So you can see here I have just copied this entire ground floor plan here. Okay, this is my original floor plan. So now I have completed, I have copied my entire ground floor plan here, and I removed everything except the columns. So once the columns are left, what I have done, I have start finding out the center of the columns. And I already told in the problem what I have taken this time. Okay, so the architect itself has given me the column positions. So when I take up the next problem, so I'll take up the problem where even the column positions are also not yet been considered. So there, what are the changes that we will see during that problem. So now once all it is removed, and my aim is to find out the center lines of each and every column. Right, you can see here I'm finding out the center lines of the each and every column. Okay, yes, so like this I'm finding out. Okay, yes, so like this. Yeah, so the reason why you want the center lines of the columns is because I already told you whatever the lines are that I'm going to draw. So now everything is of center line. I need everything in terms of center to center only. Okay, I need everything in terms of center to center only. Therefore, I need without fail the center line markings is must for me. So therefore, I am finding out the center lines of the each and every column. Okay, so we have one more here, one more here, right? Yes, so from here to here. See, the reason why we need the center line markings is if you are not choosing the center line markings, then at the end you will get a lot of eccentricities in the columns and beams. So in order to avoid that, so we need a thorough center lines, right? Even though initially it may take little bit of time, so with the patience we are supposed to find it out, because once you fix the positions of the columns and once you fix the positions of the footings, then after that going further becomes very easy. Otherwise, if you do any mistake there itself, so after designing everything again, if you want to change the positions of columns and beams, right, it becomes very difficult. Therefore, thoroughly you are supposed to give little bit of more time in this. Okay, yes, the last columns are left. Yes. Yeah, so these are the last columns. The center lines has been drawn. Yes, now I have drawn the center lines. Now keep it in mind, students, if you look at the plan, right, the architect has given some dimensions of the columns, but as a structural engineer it is not our duty that whatever the dimensions they have given that we are supposed to take. No, it is not required at all. Okay, so they have given from their point of view, but as a structural engineer, you should evaluate and you should analyze and you should decide whether that dimensions is required or whether you can decrease the dimension or whether you can increase the dimension. Okay, so now what I have done, as I already told, so we have to have the preliminary dimensions of the beams and members, because in order to model it in the software we need the preliminary dimensions of the beams and columns. Therefore preliminary dimension, so initially I am assuming the same dimensions of the columns. So once the analysis is done, then we will come to know whether these dimensions are required or not. And not only that, you can see here, I think there are 4 5 so 4 4 8 8 9 9 10 12 12 13 13 15 16 17 18 19 20, almost 20 21 columns are there, right? So initially let us assume that 21 columns or 20 columns is required as per the architect's requirement. But after analysis, as a structural engineer, you have the freedom to reduce the number of columns, because as a structural engineer it is our duty to optimize the design and makes the design safe also. Both the things should be there. Therefore as an engineer you have the option to reduce the number of columns also, or sometimes because of the very unusual designs in the unusual designs in the plan, so you may need additional columns also. So therefore you have the freedom to have the additional columns and beams also without altering any client's requirement. That is most important, without altering any client's requirement. And not only that, students, you can see here some columns has been placed in this direction, whereas some columns has been placed in this direction. Okay, that is what we call it as orientations of the columns. Now, initially, let us consider the orientations of the columns as given by the architect, because I am telling you whatever the first design that we are going to do, it is a preliminary design, it is not at all final. So after that, once we go for the final design, definitely we are going to change the positions of the columns. Definitely we are going to change the dimensions of the column. Definitely we are going to change the orientation of the column. Definitely we are going to change the number of columns also. Similarly, beams also we are going to change the positions of the beams, the dimensions of the beams. Everything is not finalized. So if in the preliminary dimensions, it is considered as it is. Okay, even in the while modeling also I'm going to explain based on what conditions your orientation of the column should be present. Okay, so just not blindly we are supposed to put some columns orienting in the left and right direction, some columns orienting in the top and bottom direction. You can see here this column and this columns are of same dimension, but this is oriented in the top and bottom, that is in the vertical direction. This is oriented in the left and right direction, that is along the horizontal direction. So there will be some practical meaning that how you are supposed to orient the columns, right? So that also I'll explain you in the further videos, that based on what condition we are supposed to orient the columns. Now I have make the ground floor plan ready for the center line marking. Similarly, I have to consider the first floor also. Then you may have the question that why it is first floor. See, usually students, the positions of the columns will not vary from floor to floor. But sometimes what happens, after the first floor, when you go to the second floor, the plan may change. Okay, so the plan may change. So when the plan changes, so there may not be an necessity of the columns. Okay, so therefore due to some reasons the columns will be cut down for the that floor itself. But keep it in mind when you do like that, so again if you go to the next floor, Again, if you go to the next floor, so again you cannot start the column. Okay, you cannot discontinue the column. Therefore, usually what the engineers will do, even though if it is like that, they will continue in the middle floor also. Okay, so again, if you go to the next floor, then again, if architect wants that same plan which is there in the first floor, so again, you cannot start the column. That becomes the floating column. So the floating column is just for the architecture purpose. It will not carry any loads. Okay, when I take up the second problem, we will understand what do you mean by the floating columns. Okay, therefore, in order to avoid such kind of unnecessary issues, so the columns will be taken out throughout the length. Okay, but anyhow, in order to be on the safer side, so we will just check it. Okay, we will just copy the second floor, the ground floor also, and we will try to compare is there any changes. If no changes are there, then it is well and good. So no issues for us. Okay, yes. So I'll just copy this. Okay, I'll just copy. Yeah, I'll just keep here. Okay, so this you can remove it. Now both the these are in the same dimensions. They are in the same line. You can see here. Okay, yes, they are in the same line. So now again, what you can do, you can easily remove the unnecessary things. So these things you can remove it. Okay, so these things you can remove, right? So not required. So you can remove these things. If you are very thorough with the AutoCAD, you can switch off the layers option. Okay, that is also one way. You can switch off the layers option. Yeah. Yes, I'm just removing all the unnecessary things. Okay, they are required only for the architect purpose. So as a structural engineer, we need the plan once the column positions are fixed and once we are doing the beams. That time only these things are required to us. Okay, yeah. Yeah, so now I have removed all the columns. Okay, I have removed everything. Right. So now if you see here, I hope the column positions are not going to vary. You can see here, same columns are there, no change. Okay, so therefore no issues. So now once this is done, your next step is you are supposed to draw the center lines. Okay, how you are supposed to draw, you can just see here. Okay, I'm just removing this also. Okay, I'm just removing this. So we will keep only the boundary lines. Okay, so nothing other than the boundary lines. Okay, yeah, yes. Now you have to go to the line. Now I'll just switch on the ortho mode. Now, yes, so this is the first column. Okay, now then the next is you are supposed to draw the center lines like this. Okay, yeah. Second, third, yes. So then here, okay, then here, here, okay. So now all the horizontal lines I have written. Now in the same manner, I'm supposed to draw the center lines in the vertical also. The reason why we need this is this will be done in order to have the markings of the columns and footing, as well as we need the grid lines in order to model it in the software. Okay, I can see, I think, okay, you can see here. Yes, so we have one more here. Okay, then here, okay, yes, these columns are done. Okay, this is also done. Okay, done, done. Yeah, so we have here one more. Okay, yeah, yes. So now that also I'll explain. Yeah, yes. So now all the horizontal and verticals has been done. Now what you can do in order to easy my work, I'll just go to the trim option. Okay, I'll just go to trim option. So I'll select this line, then I'll remove the remaining lines. Okay, yes. So in the same manner, I'll select this line. Okay, I'll select this line, then I'll select this line, then I'll select this line. Enter. I'll remove this. Okay, then I'll remove this, then I'll remove this. Okay, yes. Now, okay, so now the same thing is here, no issues at all. You can delete this. Okay, now I have done the horizontal and the vertical center line markings. Okay, now the most important parameter that you are supposed to see here is, you can see here students, for these two columns, this one and this one, no issues at all. Both the columns, they are in the same line. Okay, both the columns, they are in the same line. Therefore, so you can see here, so these are the two columns, so therefore no issues. Okay, these two columns, we don't have any problem. Now when it comes to this also, and even in the vertical direction also no problem at all. Right. Now when I comes to this, again these two columns, this one and this one, so they are in the same line, no issues. Okay, and both these columns, these C1 columns, so they are horizontally perfect with respect to horizontal as well as with respect to vertical. Okay, they are perfect with respect to horizontal as well as with respect to vertical. No issues for these four columns. Okay, for these four columns, no issues at all. Right? Okay, so that I'll make it green. Right, indicating that these four columns, they are perfect. Now, let us see in any one direction. Let us see first in the vertical direction. Now, when it comes to this column, no issues. This column is exactly coinciding with this column. Okay, this column is exactly coinciding with this column, so no issues. So this column, it is again exactly coinciding with this column, so no issues at all. Right, and if you see these two columns, so these two columns, they are exactly coinciding. Right, these two columns, they are exactly coinciding, this one and this one, so no issues. So these two columns, no issues. These two columns are also no issues with respect to horizontal, horizontally no issues at all. Okay, yes. Then what about this? So if you see this now, if you see this columns vertically, now this column as well as this column, no issues. They have been maintained vertically, they are in line. This and this, they are vertically in line, vertically. But what about this? If you see these four columns, students, right? If you see these four columns, okay, what I'll do, you can see here, if you have a confusion, I'll just remove this so that it will be very clear. You can see now, these two columns also, they are not in line. Okay, even this column also, they are not in line. It means all the four columns, they are not at all in line. I think only the first and the last column, they are in line. Yes, only the first and last column, they are in line. Now what I have to do, usually if it is like this, okay, it is very difficult in the site execution. It is very difficult in the site execution. Okay, it is very difficult in the site execution. And not only that, it will happen to the overlapping of the footings also. It will lead to the overlapping of the footings, right? So that usually, that's why what we do is, in order to avoid such kind of practical problems, we try to make those columns in line. We try to make those columns in line. You just check with the plan, if I make it in line, is there any issues will come. What I'll do is, I'll just uh, yeah, I'll just move this to my closer side like this. Okay, I'll just move it to here so that you can usually compare. Right, so now I want to bring these four lines. You can see here, I don't think so it will make any changes. A small variations in the inner dimensions will happen. Okay, that too, it will be in the form of inches. It will be a very small. So very small changes will happen if I bring all these four columns in line. I'm not telling about the orientation. I'm telling about the center line of the column. Therefore, what I'll do, I'll make everything in line. So as per this, I'll make everything in line. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll just draw from here to here. Okay, anyhow, these two are in line. So now what I'll do, I'll just bring this in line. Okay, I'll just bring this to here. Okay, yes, so now they are in line. Even you can see, yeah, okay, I'll just bring that in line. Okay, this I brought it in line. Now even this also I need to bring to the line. Yes, so now my all these four columns, they are in line. Okay, so now this column as well as this column, it is in line, no issues. So this is also, they are in line. Therefore what I can do, I can make these columns as green. Okay, I can make these columns green. Right. Yes, so indicating that all these columns are okay. Now let us see here also. Here also, if you see students, so only our two columns, they are in line, and other two columns, they are not in line. Okay, so here also I will check whether any issue will come. Yes or no. Okay, so now you can see here they have clearly told nothing should come in this boundary, therefore I cannot shift this column, but I have an option to shift these two columns, no issues. Therefore what I will do, I'll just shift this column from here to, okay, so what I will do, I will do from here to here, right? So then I'll just move these two columns to this position. Okay, I'll just move these two columns to this position. Yeah, I'll just move this column to here. Okay, similarly I'll just move this column to here. Okay, yes. Now so here also these columns are also okay. Okay, now these columns are also okay, therefore I'll make them green. Okay, so these columns are also okay, so I'll just make them green. Okay, then what about here? Here also you can see that the columns, they are not in line, right? Yes or no? So now which one I can move? Again I cannot move this, I can bring only these two. Therefore what I will do, again I will bring these two here. Okay, I'll just bring these two here, then again I'll bring these two here, right? So therefore I can make this also green. Okay, now then if you see here, again these two columns, they are not in line. Okay, but no issues, since the columns are very far. Since the columns are very far, what you can do, you can keep as it is, no doubt, no problem at all. So since the columns are very far, you can keep as it is. Okay, then here no issues, only one column. Okay, I can directly make this as green, and here also these two, they are in line, both horizontally, vertically, so no issues, I can make them green. And here again these two, they are in same line, so no issues, I can make them green, right? So therefore now all my columns are okay. Okay, even this is also okay, right? So even this column is also okay, right? Yes, so this one, even vertically also, they are in the same lines. Okay, so therefore my positions of the columns are decided. Now I just need to note down the uh, distances. Okay, I just need to note down the distances, that is dimensions, right? So that is from, you can see that this is the boundary. Okay, so what I can do, I can start from here to here. Okay, yes, I have to reduce the dimension. So dimension style, modify. Okay, so text, I have to reduce it. I have to reduce it to 2 inches. Okay. Yeah, let me make it 5. Then set current, close. Yeah, dimension, dimension style, modify. So go to symbols and arrows that you that you reduce. Okay, that you make it to 10. Okay, yes, set current, close. So now it is okay. Now it is 3.6. Then from here to here, then from here to here, right? I have not left any lines. Then here to here. Okay, so if you want, I'll just continue this line from here to here. Okay, yes, then here to here. Okay, okay, yeah. So what I can do, I can usually bring this again. What I'll do, I'll just bring this column again to this position so that it will be easy. So nothing, no problems also will come. So okay, like this I have done. Okay, yes. So now dimension linear, here to here, then here to here, here to here, here to here. Yes, right. Similarly, in the vertical direction also I'm supposed to draw everything. So that is from here to here. Okay, then here to here, then here to here, here to here, here to here. Yeah, so from here to here. Yes, so therefore all my dimensions are done. Okay, all my dimensions are done. Right, so now I got the center line markings or the center line distances of the columns. Right, so once we do this, so what is my next step, we will see in the next video. Thank you, students.